I hit record, so we're going.
There we go.
This is awesome.
This is cell phone audio, baby. Hey, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego podcast, Beyond the Garage.
Yes, Beyond the Garage.
You know what we should have played? We should have played the Moving On Up theme from...
There we go. Oh, boy.
From the garage to the guest room.
That's right. We have gotten a new studio space in the Austin household.
Yeah.
So we're recording from there, and we have our brand new Rodecaster that doesn't have our theme song programmed into it.
And none of us know how to download it. So.
We may have lost it.
Until we
maybe
that
in the
out.
ether. We don't know. There's also going to be weird pauses because my brother's on his way over, and we'll have to stop it to let him in.
But hey, that's the glory of having your own studio.
Yeah. I also don't have my ads in front of me. We're completely unprepared, but we were so excited to show Ryan and the Cyborg that we're like, fuck it, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Tony Anello's is delicious, and Ford
Tony
Supply
Anello's
smells
is good.
Yep.
Ford Supply makes you smell great. If you want to hear about Ford Supply, just hit Ryan on Facebook. He'll tell you all about it.
Oh, yeah.
He will
one-on-one
sit and talk for hours.
Real soap, no bullshit.
That's right.
There we go.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a beard balm now, too.
I don't want to talk about news. I don't want to talk about all the updates that we've had recently because this topic is a lengthy one.
About 4 hours in length.
It's about 4 hours long. Yeah.
The lengthiest
And
of all lengths.
I know already because of the group chat. And Megan's back. Hey! That is actually the only reason we are here and not at Rob's anymore. We set this up because Megan and I have two beautiful children, and we had to have somebody sit and watch them because of situations changing. So now we're happy to have her back. Welcome back.
So now I'll be here always, most likely, because we're here at home.
I'll be here always unless I'm not.
Unless
Is that
maybe
a threat?
possibly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Get out.
Yeah, sorry, bye.
Yeah. So, and also, we watched Snyder Cut together, and she said about 3.5 hours in, okay, I have to be on this one.
Yeah.
I have to be on this episode. There's no way I'm missing it.
And we made the mistake of doing a cookout before we recorded, so we talked individually.
That's right.
Yes.
Unrecorded.
That's right. So
about
I
our
know
thoughts and feelings and wants and needs.
I know opinions vary widely across the board on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Some people loved it. Some people absolutely hated it. And I think a couple of us are right in the middle.
It's a sweet spot.
I don't think I've given anything up.
No, you haven't. You haven't. You
Yeah.
just told us that you watched it, but you complained about having to watch
Did
it.
we
So,
talk- we- did
so
we talk
that's
about
pretty par for the
after the
course for
fact?
everything for you.
Or did we talk about
absolutely.
before?
We talked about it a little bit, and then Ryan didn't come to the barbecue, so
That's
we don't
right.
know
Oh,
what
yeah.
he feels.
Yeah.
It's his idea. He wanted a lot of things to happen, and then he didn't show up.
Yep.
Guys, we should cook out. I can't make it.
Hey, actually, it was your idea. I just invited myself.
Oh, that's
And
true.
Had to invite myself. That's
no.
exactly what
It
happened.
was your idea.
No. it was
He
his
invited
idea.
himself to. No, I'm saying to him.
Oh.
It was your idea, Mark. You invited yourself here, and instantly I was like, hell yeah, let's do that, because we both thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And Ryan was like, when do I show up? And we're like, at this time. It was. I want to say it was a group effort.
Well, Jack has a big green egg now, and I'm very jealous of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm already shopping.
The BGE.
It's very good. So we're all, and I highly recommend all of you, although we are not sponsored by Green Egg, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Send me one, please.
Yeah,
I'll take one, too.
but they're incredible.
I'd be
the
happy
next
to have
time,
a mini. Give us a mini and we'll talk about it all day long.
the next time
No,
we have
XL.
XL.
a Green Egg Fest,
XXL.
we all need to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to
Right.
buy a ticket. It's worth it because you eat for free all day.
Yes.
And it's food cooked
Well,
on a green egg.
it's technically not for free.
What do you mean?
'Cause you pay for it.
You have to pay for a ticket.
Yeah, but still, you don't eat.
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to pay at every single
right,
tent.
you have to pay for a ticket and then pay to eat everywhere. You're right.
So
I'm already hungry.
next time we have one of those, we're all going.
Yes.
And I think we might have to cover these things up because all I am doing is just scrolling around.
Yeah,
Oh.
so all
So we're in the-
936 of our Funko
We're in the
Pops are
Funko
this
room. To spoiler alert, which obviously, if you're looking at this, I will have posted a picture of the new setup from where you are, and we have all of the coolest ones on the wall behind us. And I love my Venomized; they're my favorites for sure. But quickly becoming my second favorite is the zombie.
The Marvel zombies, yeah.
Only because there
Yeah.
aren't enough.
He glows in the dark.
There aren't enough Hellboys. There aren't enough Predators yet. And on my Star Trek guys, I had to have
And the
behind me
Teenage
too.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Daffy
Yeah.
Duck.
Yeah. Oh, Daffy is
Pokemon.
one of my all-time favorite cartoon characters, if not my all-time favorite.
Well, Disney owns Predator, so there's going to be 10,000 new pop figures.
Give it
coming
to
out.
me.
So I
I'm
put
here
my
for
Disney
it.
behind
Disney,
me over
call me about the video game. I got time. I'll
It's
clear
like
my
they
schedule.
want to monetize their IP. It's so weird.
That's so
Bro, you
weird.
don't know how bad
Don't
I
care.
want that Brawley.
The Brawley.
Let's make a
Yeah.
deal, bro.
Are we even going to get into the Snyder
I
Cut?
will make a deal with you. Every time you come over, you can look at it. Deal? Shake my hand right now.
Done.
Do I need to trade spots so that you can't see it?
Free stairs.
Right. Yeah, come sit next to me, Ryan. Shoot.
One of my favorites.
Okay, Snyder Cut. So, here are the facts, right?
It was
This
4
is
hours and
the
3 minutes.
long anticipated version of Zack Snyder's Justice League that he said, the studio didn't do it justice. Joss Whedon didn't do it justice. His cut all along was 4 hours long. I don't buy that. So now he finally, after all the fans came together, all the actors said the same thing, which I think if this movie would have gone off like gangbusters, they'd have been like, who cares? But the movie got a lot of bad reviews, so now here's our Snyder Cut.
Which is really
So-
crazy because, somebody said the other day, or I read, or something you posted, I think, where it said that this was, the Snyder Cut kind of showed that they had the ability to compete with Marvel.
That's what they wanted, but that's not
mean-
true. Yeah.
I don't know. There was a lot about the Snyder Cut that I was not, I was not excited going into it
Yeah.
because I didn't like the movie. I didn't like the, obviously what they cut or what they came out with, but I was like, there's got to be at least a couple good things in here. And
So-
the first 2 hours, I was just like, oh.
For those people who haven't seen it out there in Snyder Cut land, we'll just ask some general questions for the table if people would just, yes or no questions. Is it better than the original?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is it worth 4 hours?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
I'm with Ryan. I think it's worth 4 hours.
That first hour
I was
going to
say the first hour and a half was
like
so
it's
bad.
A week.
Is it something that is worth picking the DC universe back up for?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I like
No.
the direction they're going. Like, why would they go back?
No. So could they piggyback off of the Snyder Cut is my question. Could they now take the information
Could
and the ideas they have and take it from there?
Could they? Yeah. Should they? I don't think so.
Really?
Actually,
I don't think so.
to be quite honest, after watching the Snyder Cut, it actually made me excited to see where they're going to go with that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you
with
see
the
that
Martian-
desert scene at the end? 'Cause
It
that's where they're
doesn't seem
going.
exactly.
Now,
I wasn't
see,
sure exactly
yeah.
what that was, but I'm like, I'm here for it
So
without Jared Leto, though.
where that goes, I'm with you on that 1,000% without Jared Leto. I don't know if he's that. Yeah. I don't know if that's my Joker there. Hashtag not my Joker.
Oh
He
my
sounds like a
gosh.
creaky screen door opening
He
and
looks
closing.
great for he looks great for Morbius.
Yeah.
He's obviously a talented
Let
guy.
it be Morbius because nobody gives a shit about Morbius.
There you go. And that's the thing. Joker is probably he's definitely the most iconic villain
It's the biggest shoes to fill in the whole DC universe.
in
I-
maybe the whole
more-
comics
Yeah,
universe.
more than Batman, more than Superman. I think Joker is one of those ones where you have to have it down.
I think he is the most recognizable villain in comic book history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know. And I'm looking around the room at all of our Funkos looking for a villain that carries as much weight as the
'Cause
Joker.
I love Magneto, but you show a random person a picture of Magneto, they're not going to know who that is.
Yeah. You
But
show
they'll
the
pick out
clown.
the Joker.
You show the clown makeup. Got it.
The Joker?
They know who it is.
But at the same time, I think we've been spoiled by Heath Ledger's version of him.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no matter what anybody does, it's never going to be good enough.
And it would be really hard for Joaquin Phoenix to take that portrayal, I think, of Joker and take that to a DC universe, right? It was a human story, so it would be
I
really
still haven't seen
weird
it, so I don't
to
know.
throw a Superman into that Joker.
Okay, this might be getting too far ahead of ourselves, but the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix movie,
Yeah.
was a nice little glimpse as to, okay, we can do these characters separate and do them really well on their own.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that. We can do a Shazam. We can do an Aquaman. It doesn't have to be a shared universe. It doesn't have to have a million cameos. Make good movies on your own and then bring them together eventually.
Yeah, and that's...
Yeah, they definitely could have set up.
They don't have the organization to
that's
build a
the
shared
problem.
universe because they have different directors and nobody does anything like Zack Snyder.
They don't have
good, bad, or indifferent.
They don't have a Kevin Feige.
No.
They don't have somebody helming the entire universe and saying, here's what we have, here's what we can do. You know what I mean?
All right, let's roll.
Right. So what I was saying is DC, we had a little pause there, break. Sorry about that. But DC doesn't have the Kevin Feige to overview everything and tell each individual director, here's what we're doing. Here's what creative freedom you have. Here's the direction the story's going. So you have 5 or 6 different directors who are going to take their own property and want to do their own thing with it.
Yeah.
Which is why Marvel has done such a great job. They had Captain America, Thor, Iron Man 2 before they ever even had a team-up movie.
So that was one of my biggest problems with the Snyder Cut was, there's 2 of them really for 2 different characters. Aquaman, the storyline did not at all match up to the Aquaman movie, which I thought was one of the better things that they produced.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't line up at all, and there's very, very several inconsistencies, I felt like it's hard to, enjoy it because you're like, okay, well, it's like you said, it's very unorganized.
Yeah. And they're all tonally different. They're all shot different.
Yep.
They all have different types of dialogue. Like you have James Wan, who's really good. I really like James Wan, who did the Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
And then you have the Shazam movie, which tonally is just completely different, but they both have Superman references, and they both take place in the same universe.
Yeah.
And it's just this crazy thing where you can't really make heads or tails of it because people who aren't really into this stuff don't know the differences and why things are completely different. And
Not just that, they had characters that didn't know each other in other movies that knew each other in this.
Yes.
And that was the thing. Aquaman was the one I think got the shaft of the entire
it's like
crew
it didn't even exist before
because he's hanging out at the throne where he's got the big Ocean Master trident. And he's like, I like hanging out here because it's peaceful.
That's such a pivotal part of the
But in the Aquaman movie, he has to go down into the trench, which is the most dangerous place in all of the ocean, go into some portal into some freaking alternate universe to find this thing. Then he has to fight some monster that's been guarding the trident for thousands and thousands of years, when in the DC, the Snyder Cut, he's like, I just like hanging out here. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah.
And the other one that was, and I know he disagrees with me here, maybe kind of, sort of, is Cyborg. So, he obviously doesn't have his own movie, and he's like, well, who the hell would watch a Cyborg movie? Well,
Am I wrong?
But no.
But there was so much information. There was so much build up for him in this movie that they could have easily made the Snyder Cut that much better and pulled some information and fluffed the hell out of it to make a Cyborg movie actually pretty decent, because there's a lot of cool shit that goes behind Cyborg
Does
that
Ray
you don't
Fisher
know about.
have to be in
But
it?
No, he doesn't.
That's my big thing.
But do you really need to know more than that? I felt in the Snyder Cut they did a great job of showing Cyborg what happened to him. You understand his background, that he doesn't really get along with his father, and now he's going to join the Justice League.
And I agree. You don't
That's
need a
all
whole.
I needed.
You don't.
I didn't need to watch a 2-hour movie about a guy being put back together from
That's
a box.
fair. But I mean, you could have gotten a little bit more origin of his previous life with his parents, knowing his mom.
I think you got that. You got to see that from the football game and him making.
Then they
should have
cut all that shit out of the Snyder Cut and just not included it.
No,
because if it wasn't important,
it wasn't. But I think it was important.
I thought it was very important. I don't think it needs its own damn movie.
I don't know.
It didn't.
Yeah, it's very
There
obvious
was
that he didn't get along.
too much Cyborg focus
Yeah.
for it to be a Justice League movie, is what I'm kind of getting
They,
at.
they made it obvious because
Yeah, that's
they're
what
like,
I'm
he
saying.
doesn't get along with his dad. He's like, I don't get along with you, Dad.
Right.
The dialogue
he
from that
handed
is
him the
very
tape
horrible.
recorder, and he was like, screw your tape recorder. I don't even care.
I hate you, Dad.
Yeah. It was just...
I was like, I don't need any of this.
Right. But you could tell...
Give me my 30 minutes back.
You could tell why Ray Fisher, who was the actor who played Cyborg, wanted the Snyder Cut so bad, because they actually develop his character and show his worth, and that's why I was okay.
He's just so much cooler in the comics, from some of the animated movies that we've seen or some other places that I've seen him. It just seems like there's so much more that they could have developed with his character. Even in the, I know you said we get the major points in Justice League about him, but that there's really no character development even in the Snyder Cut. There's just not.
Hey, from MCU to DC, you're going to be disappointed if you want it to be
Yeah.
just like the comics or
Yeah.
the background of
That's
the comics.
true.
It's
Or-
true.
Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're good.
But I actually thought that
Well,
was great.
the one thing this successfully did is I never want to see a Cyborg movie. Ever.
Okay.
I'd never want one.
I disagree.
I did
think-
before. I don't want a Ray Fisher, Zack Snyder.
Okay, so there,
Cyborg movie.
there
I
you
think
go.
it's all about Ray Fisher.
Because if it's going to stay there, no, it's mostly Zack Snyder.
Well, they also calculated that about Zack Snyder. They talk about how he's such a great cinematographer. He's got such a great vision. But then they did the math. 10%, not 10 minutes, 10% of the 4-hour movie is in slow motion.
Yes, legitimately.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Because of the
all
Flash.
in slow motion.
Is that
it's not
48?
all because of the Flash. I'm pretty sure they show Superman
my
dropping
God.
a deuce in slow motion in that movie.
Probably.
I saw sesame seeds fall off a bun in
You
slow
did.
motion.
You did.
And hot dogs fly through the air in
Exactly.
slow motion. I don't need this in my life.
Right.
Oh, I needed the hot dog scene. That was great.
But as far as things that did work, the much better inclusion of Steppenwolf,
Oh,
the
yeah.
villain, they made him worthwhile. They showed him having a purpose of why he was doing what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
They had a introduction of an overarching villain in Darkseid.
So, speaking of that, I wanted to make sure that I touched on that because this is what kind of made this movie for me was near the end. So as I was telling him, as someone who didn't grow up reading anything DC and really only knew the George Clooney Batmans, you know what I mean? Like, knew that era of the DC universe, really.
So sorry.
Yeah. But I didn't really even know who Steppenwolf was until I saw the first Justice League movie.
Yeah.
So, like, this was what made this movie for me was that expansion on something bigger and badder than Steppenwolf. Because as someone who doesn't know anything about the villains and anything about the characters, that's what kind of gave me this could compete in a, not obviously it would never be neck to neck, but this could compete with the Marvel universe because it gave you a Thanos feel because it's like, okay, so there's this bad guy and then he's actually working for this guy and Steppenwolf gets freaking axed and you're like, oh my God, this guy is so much better and so much more badass. And you know, like that just made it for me. And I was like a bottle of wine deep at this point, but I super liked it.
It was the best.
But that
I needed
shows
it.
you.
I needed it.
That
going into
shows
this.
you why the Marvel universe is so much better. Is because you're like, I like this because it's like Marvel.
Yeah.
I like this better now
know.
because it's like the one that's doing well.
Well, here's the reason I don't like that is because Steppenwolf is a cool villain in himself. So you see him get built up through this whole movie, and you see him have his redemption arc and everything, and then he just gets axed away, and they're like, well, he's not the real villain. You want to pay attention to this guy. And
Right.
it's like, okay, well, I just spent 4 hours getting invested
Caring
into
about this guy.
And then the last 3 minutes of the movie is like, well, he's nobody if you really think about it. Then I'm like, well, they didn't really beat anybody then.
So
They just beat the
So
guy
this
who's
was 4
nobody.
4 hours for you to introduce the villain.
Yeah, just for him to go, I
Yeah.
think I'm going to come back in the sequel.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if there wasn't so much fluff and garbage and slow motion and cyborg and whatever the hell else they could have removed from it,
Fluff and garbage and cyborg.
So much main character
whatever.
garbage.
No, like that's why I was like they could have just made a movie out of sideboard.
Wow.
He sure is.
That's what Julian
That's
used to
what our son
Is she
used
another
to call
bottle of
him,
wine deep now?
sideboard.
No, I haven't had any wine yet.
As I call him, side character.
Side character. But anyway, if they would have removed a lot of that stuff, then they could have branched off into a sequel. And it wouldn't be like, well, I'm sure shit not watching a sequel to that hot garbage because it was 4 hours long. And the only thing that was good about it was like one part in the early half and like the last 3 parts.
Oh, there's already a sequel signed up for.
Oh, boy.
is
For
that-
Yeah,
what?
but is it the
I'm
desert
actually excited.
scenes?
Okay. We'll talk about that at the end. But
Okay.
anybody who's like, I wonder if they're going to make another one. I would put $100 on the table right now. That contract was signed before that thing even aired.
I'd be happy to take your $100 because
I
I don't
would
think that's
too.
going to happen.
oh, it's definitely going to
But
happen.
you're talking the Steppenwolf Darkseid stuff, not
Yeah.
the
yeah,
like
they were
30,
not.
40 years in the future desert shit. Isn't that like...
Well, first and foremost,
I
they
think that's only a
Futuristic?
couple years in the
Oh,
future.
okay.
they already said that Zack Snyder's not coming back, so a lot of his Vision stuff is going to get dropped.
Well, just like they said, they never released that Snyder cut. I mean, not unless
you might
100
be
million
right.
people put a hashtag
Making sure
out
the dogs
there.
are alive. Good idea.
There's no way they're going to let him end this movie on a cliffhanger with no intention of coming back to it.
But I think that's a whole different series. That one looked like they were going to have Superman be a villain.
Yeah, that's what
not
it looked like.
Darkseid.
I
And
like the-
that was the intrigue.
We're touching on the Injustice universe now, and I'm all for that.
I know. So for those of you who don't know the Injustice story, I'm going to quote it from what I know from the video game Injustice 2, which I think follows it pretty closely.
It's based off of
the
that.
Joker. The Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane and his child, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
And then Superman finally says, "You know what? I'm tired of looking after you bastards," and just decimates everything and kills everybody that gets in his way unless you sign up to be on Team Superman. And that is then Batman and a ragtag group of other superheroes and villains trying to beat Superman.
Yes, and it's
Which-
very dusty out.
Shows the whole universe that Superman is OP.
Why don't they just do what they did in Batman vs Superman, and Bruce Wayne goes and gets his hands on some more kryptonium and just
Yeah.
done.
Kryptonite.
Kryptonite, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And be done.
Well, I mean, that's
You
probably
never
what's going
know.
to happen.
And that's why in that last scene, Joker's like, "Well, you don't have the balls to die yourself, so I'll go do it. I know he wants me, so
That's not what he said. He
yeah."
said, ah.
Okay, he was not
There was
a
a point- there was
he
a
was
point
not
in
a
time.
dolphin with speech defects.
But there was a point in time that
Flipper,
he,
where's
that
Timmy?
his voice sounded exactly like Jim Carrey's. And I know, like, there's no relation.
Don't
but I'm
ruin
just
Jim
saying,
Carrey for me.
Like, it sounds exactly
Don't
like
drag
him.
Jim Carrey into this.
You're killing all of Mark's heroes right now.
That's my job.
Mark's got no one left.
Can we talk about the really awesome Aquaman song?
Oh my god. That was the weirdest thing. I just remember sitting on the couch and Aquaman disappears and that girl just starts a cappella singing and
I
smelling
looked-
his
I looked at
sweater
him and I was
go,
like-
"What the fuck is happening right now?"
And there's literally no
There's
reference
no
to it again.
context.
And she's just like smelling his hoodie. It was so fucking weird.
And everybody
weird,
just
but I liked
decided
it.
this is okay. They're just all watching
Right.
on like, she does this every time. It's
yeah,
fine.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I was
was
just like,
incredibly
"Oh my
weird.
god, this is getting a little intense here."
See what else is in my notes that I wrote while I was watching this.
Oh
Did
boy.
you guys take any Did you take any notes? Did you guys talk about the desert scene yet?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
talked all
Okay.
about it. No
Yeah,
need to
we'll
revisit
probably
that.
get back to it.
Okay.
How about that really cool Superman scream right at the beginning?
Oh my gosh! So that was the
Which
funniest
one?
thing
When he dies
because
at the beginning,
very
and he's like,
beginning they show the. I was walking through the house throughout the day, and Emmett would be standing at different parts of the house going. I'm like, and that right there shows me just how stupid that was.
Oh no, you're letting the aliens know that there's no Superman
Right.
anymore.
Right, exactly. His reverberating scream across the entire world
So if his scream
that
goes
they
up-
didn't focus on Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, like, okay, if he could do that and he could scream and other planets could hear it, wouldn't that just make this planet explode? Like,
That actually just makes me want to hear the Superman album that's out there somewhere.
Oh my gosh, no.
You know he's gonna come up with an album if he can scream and other galaxies can hear it.
Drop a
do it.
mixtape.
let's do it.
Yeah, Superman drops a mixtape.
What about
Everybody plays it. Their speakers just explode.
Let's see, what else we got? I got slow motion sesame seeds. We covered that.
it? One thing I did love is I love the more
gosh.
Flash in this one.
Yeah, me too.
Flash was
I
good.
did. I
I
like
like that they also didn't make Flash a little pansy who was scared of parademons.
I don't know.
He was like, all right. He's like, I don't fight much, but let's do it. And in the
Yeah.
other one, he was like, I'm scared of bugs. I don't want to fight them. And I was like, what?
I don't like him as. I'm sorry.
Ezra Miller?
I don't like him.
I didn't
as
like him
Flash.
either.
Is it because he beats
do.
people up outside of Walmart in New York? Is that what it is?
No, I don't care about that. He can beat up whoever he wants in real life. I don't like him as.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but apparently he beat up a girl, and it's on video
Yeah.
in front of a Walmart.
yeah. Whatever. Fine. I don't care.
Classy Flash.
Yeah, he was
Fine.
scared of
Kick
a
him
girl.
off of the Justice League movie.
That was for the Flash universe when there's
Cancel
homeless
him.
Flash and he's beating up people who are asking him for money.
Okay, so my next bullet point is Martha Manhunter? Question mark?
Oh,
Dude, what the hell was that?
well,
And Manhunter did not look so bad.
no, he looked good,
But
but
I feel like they added him in 15 minutes before they aired it.
and they grabbed a random character who had already been in the universe, like this guy, he'll be good to be Martian Manhunter,
And they just superimposed him over, and he's
right?
like,
And then at the end of him, he's like, "Hey, I didn't help you when the world was ending, but now I think it's a good idea for me to help you."
So there's a really strong rumor going around that when that scene was filmed at the end, they did not know who was going to be in it. Which, rewatching it makes me go, Yeah, because they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because it was supposedly the idea was it was going to be a lantern.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So everybody originally thought in the trailer when Alfred's like, "You're finally here," that was going to be Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been super cool.
Yeah.
That's what was missing from this cut for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to see a lantern in it.
I want to see Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan, either one.
Or
No, you got
Ryan Reynolds.
Otter-faced lantern for 10 seconds.
No,
Ryan Reynolds should have came in.
No,
And he
Ryan
should have cracked some
Reynolds.
stupid joke about how shitty Green Lantern is.
But it would have been cool to see that, but they just filmed this like
mean, how shitty
nonsensical
he
scene of
did
just
it.
like,
Yeah.
your parents would have been proud of you. How do you know that? Do you
Yeah.
know my parents?
Yeah.
Have you ever met them before?
Yeah, hey, Martian Manhunter, do you know who my parents were?
No, you don't, because you're an alien.
Your parents would have been proud of you. Your parents would have been proud of you.
Plot
Shut
twist,
up.
You
I was
too,
the guy
buddy.
Who killed your parents?
So who does he turn into afterward? Like, and why does he go woof, woof? Like, why does he do it so fast? So he's Superman's mom, and then he
Yeah.
steps outside, and then he whooshes into Martian Manhunter, and then he
And that
turns
is
into some black
the
general.
technical term in the DC universe is whooshing whenever
Whooshing.
you change into something
Well,
else.
I mean, sounds right.
He
But, like, who was the general?
he was the general from Batman versus
yeah,
Superman.
he was in Batman vs. Superman.
But he was in the movie for like 10 seconds.
But good for Martian Manhunter to climb up the ranks of the military.
Yeah.
And
Or
have
just assume the
100%
identity of
good
somebody who
credentials.
already
did.
Well, there you go. There you go. You could have done that too.
But like you said, isn't it in the movie, in the Superman movie, it shows that her entire like front door is made of glass or something like that. So he's like standing. He literally like shuts
Right.
the door.
Her front door has glass in it because when she's walking up to answer the door, she could see that it's Martha Kent. But
So he steps
he's
out.
outside. He turns back into Martian Manhunter. What would have been great is to cut back to Lois and her be like, "What the fuck was that?"
That's what I was thinking. I was
Oh
like,
God! They go back and
You
Lois
couldn't turn
is
the corner?
Lois is crying, calling the police.
exactly.
Right.
No sense.
Or what if Martha texts Lois right in the middle of that? Hey, miss you. Oh, what the?
Wait, if
Yeah.
you're here and she's here, then who are you?
She just
Let
looks
me
up
see
from
your
her phone.
phone.
I miss you too.
Weird.
God, just say it to me.
I don't know. So, all in all, I think Ryan and I agree. It was good. We'd give it a thumbs up.
I actually like it a lot better than the original. I watched the
here's-
original
here's-
after I didn't need to. I was told
That's
that I
okay.
didn't need to watch it,
Yeah.
but watching it made me appreciate the Snyder Cut that much more because that first one is straight garbage.
But does
yeah.
that make it a good movie?
and
No,
I honestly,
it does
I
not.
No,
thought
but
it-
it shows a lot of potential for what we could.
But here's the
what
thing.
could be
Exactly.
made.
You
is
take-
what I took away from
You
it.
take any movie in this universe that got mediocre reviews and you give a guy $80 million and
And
4
40
years
yeah.
to redo it, of course it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Is it good? No. but
He
is it
actually has
better?
responses from the fans of, "This is why your movie sucked." Well, I wasn't going to do that,
So
actually.
what exactly
It's-
is the Snyder Cut? Was it?
No, it was this all almost
It was all
this
filmed
entire
at the
movie.
same time.
No.
No?
They came back and did
It was all
massive
This is all
reshoots.
reshoots.
Okay.
80% of this movie was filmed in the last year.
Yep.
Okay.
They recreated giant like that Aquaman set. They redid all of that.
So this
just
whole
for that
time,
one song.
This whole
Yep.
time, I thought that it was literally like they had 6 hours worth of movie and they cut down and we got
Nope.
the garbage.
no,
okay.
they wrote him
No.
an
This whole
$80
time I was like,
million
what the
check.
Why
to
did you
redo
pull
it.
out all
No.
this good shit?
But like Jack said, like for
Okay.
years they've heard, oh well, Steppenwolf looks stupid, so he's like, yeah, I agree. I was trying to make him look different, anyways. Like, okay, if
Then-
a million people yell at you for something being bad,
And
and
you
then you
fix
have
it.
the opportunity to fix it, and you
Yeah.
fix it, then you're basically just kind of stealing their ideas, if
Yeah.
anything else, because he's the one who designed that in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
let's see. Let me go over my last 4 bullet points because I see that you're ready to hit the button. Let's see.
I'm not hitting any buttons.
Oh, I saw you fiddling.
Dreamscape.
So just so everybody knows, this noise that you're hearing is the stock for the button that we normally have for the rockin' alter ego exit.
So we
See,
will
that's
have
the
it.
sound that plays when
And
James
it sounds
Wan-
like wind chimes.
That's me dreaming of a Zack Snyderless DC universe.
we
is
could-
when
we
that
could-
sound plays.
We could end it with the Google song,
We could.
but we shouldn't do that.
No.
We shouldn't.
Google song is sacred.
The Google song is sacred and has
Yeah.
to be respected. Only used for when things are being Googled on the podcast.
We should end
Absolutely.
it the way that we started it with really terrible phone audio.
No, that's not going to happen. Yeah, you know what? Pull up one of our episodes and find at the very end when I start slowly adding that stuff in.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's not going to
No,
work.
it's going to be a Publix ad.
Yeah, it'll be an ad that somebody's skipping over. Anyway, that's going to do it for us from our new studio with Megan back.
Woohoo!
All right. This has been the Alter Ego Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to the new studio. Ryan and Mark, seeing it for the first time.
Welcome back for the first time.
Welcome back for the first time for the last time.
And
What?
air conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah. That's air conditioning was a big plus.
This is where we would be playing the alter ego noise. So just imagine that it's happening.
Just imagine it in your head. You're
Right.
rocking out. And then wait for us to pause it and say something stupid like we always do, right?
Yeah.
Ryan still wants to be in a garage.